Boom. A trip into the shot. Welcome everyone, Maté talk time. Bada boom. Have a awesome drink. Mine being my Maté. Hope you guys will have something spectacular. I'm covered in vanilla. So I've got vanilla fragrances is our conversation for today, as you're probably seeing from the thumbnail. I love vanillas, and I've really sort of doubled down on this like crazy, but I'm gonna show you some really awesome vanillas today. Announcements at the end. One is the FLANER winner. Someone will win that bottle today. I'm gonna spin the wheel, baby. Then there's the JAYNE Discovery series, which is coming out next week. So I'll tell you more about that. And the soapbox. I've got something to say. I'm gonna stand on my soapbox. All right, but let me begin with vanillas. So you may have seen that Kevin has released SOCO, and he's getting a lot of attention with one of his fragrances, which is Vanilla Venom. Now, I'm saying this because if Kevin is watching, I still haven't had a chance to, even have a bottle here in the office. So I don't know. I mean, it would be nice to have Vanilla Venom here, but I get it. I'm not as important as these other customers are. No, the truth is, the boy's been very busy with fulfilling orders. So I don't have Vanilla Venom in my lineup, but in looking at some of the notes and also having smelt it, the ones that I want to share with you today are unique and different vanillas. So you get something like vanilla powder or even vanilla de Tahiti, which is very much a celebration of vanilla. If you want to know, if you want to get the basics of vanilla, have a look at this episode here. I go into really beautiful expressions of vanilla. Here, these are now more creative expressions of vanilla, but let me begin. The first one, actually, I'm gonna begin with a very sort of, very clear vanilla and then move my way through. So the very first one that I wanna put forward to you guys is Paris CHERI. This is gorgeous. When it comes to celebrating a gorgeous vanilla fragrance, but now with a little twist, and that twist is that it's not gourmand. It's not an overt dessert-like vanilla. In fact, it uses this beautiful powdery effect. If Touche Finale by Javoy, which is a beautiful powdery lipstick-ish sort of makeup a style of fragrance, again, it also has a wonderful iris and this mimosa, this beautiful florals. So if Touche Finale had a baby, it would be Paris CHERI. And it's a fragrance which it really leans into those beautiful soft powdery notes. It does have more of a feminine touch. So this is not a fragrance that I use. As you can see, it's been hit very hard. My wife, who's not a vanilla lover by her own admission, she's like, no, I hate vanillas, don't like vanillas, has nearly used half this bottle. So, and we got this in October last year, so it hasn't even been a full year, and already it just has gone hard on this. Actually, it's funny because I talked about this probably 2 or 3 weeks ago on Maté Talk, and she saw that Maté Talk and she's like, I really like that fragrance, don't I? You don't say. So the beautiful thing about here is that it's not an overtly gourmand vanilla. Vanilla is very present, but as I said, it leans into those the powdery effect and that sort of more floral elements in the fragrance. Recently, my little grandbabies were sleeping over. I always love to spray some perfume on them. My granddaughter's probably about 4 years old. Very expressive, super smart. This kid is gonna rule the world. And I sprayed this on her, and it's like an automatic thing. They just put their hand up and like, this is where I want you to spray me. So I sprayed her arm, and she paused and she just looked at me, almost like she was contemplating with these big eyes, and she says, that's nice, Buello. So it's a gorgeous fragrance. So as a beautiful feminine leaning vanilla, beautiful floral touches to it, Paris CHERI, exceptional. And for those who don't like vanilla, Paris CHERI, I'd recommend that to you. I don't wear it, as I said, it's a little bit too feminine. It leans too much on the feminine side. Beep, bada, boop. What else did I say here? So obviously it's an expression of Paris, and yeah, you feel very cosmopolitan. It has a very sophisticated scent profile to it, so something that you would enjoy to go out with, basically. Now, one that I was wearing the other day, which I absolutely love, is BDK's Vanille Leather. when I first came across this, I thought this was going to be a very animalic, sort of gourmand leather style of fragrance. I thought that the sort of the leather part would really come forward a lot more. In fact, it's a very floral vanilla. So the suede effect, or that leather effect, comes in much later, so deeper in the dry down. On its first appearance, as soon as you spray, the vanilla comes forward beautifully. In a way, I almost feel like it's almost that they could be sisters with this particular fragrance here, because it does have the florals and that powdery effect, but then it sort of washes itself backwards in place of that suede effect from the leather that comes through. There are notes like orange blossom, jasmine, and I think there's magnolia in there, but there's another sort of white floral, tuberose. And that bouquet of florals is quite, you would think it'd be very feminine. I was gonna say, you think it's quite floral, and it's very sort of spring-like, you know, there's a beauty in the air, and you would think that it would be very feminine leaning, which is true. It is a little bit more on that feminine side. However, for me, I love it. It's a gorgeous fragrance for a man to wear. And again, it's because it does start off a little bit on that more floral side of things, but when it dries down, and the truth is this, when you're wearing a fragrance, it's the dry down that you wear the most. So the opening notes, and there's that beautiful feeling that you get from the fragrance, that's there for the first maybe 20 minutes, half an hour perhaps. But the bulk of the fragrance is really lived in that dry down. And so as a dried down to fragrance, the vanilla touch is there. The florals are still in play, so they're still playing, but that suede part of the fragrance does come forward a lot more. There is an interesting facet to this fragrance, meaning that it has this, it's almost like a contradictory in the sense that it has great presence and has this really nice push on it, but it's also a intimate fragrance. It's not something that will fill a room or just overpower everybody else around you. There is, because I really wanted to talk about this sort of the subtlety, but also its boldness that it has. So it does do this really, really well. I don't know how, because if a fragrance is bold and strong, it remains bold and strong, whereas here it has these two pieces coming backwards and forwards. As a different vanilla fragrance, so again, coming into it, I thought it was going to be a very animalic, leathery style vanilla, very, you know, sort of a lot more. I always compare it to Vanille de Tahiti. I don't know if I just said that before, but Vanille de Tahiti is a very animalic vanilla fragrance, and it has this sort of leathery touch to it. It's heady, it's quite, you know, intense. Whereas here, it's very subdued and very pared back, but those pieces are definitely there. Lasts forever. You're getting great longevity out of the fragrance. You're getting 10+ hours. And I found that the sillage and projection is definitely comfortably in that moderate. Sort of moves in and around, never goes close to you or never goes too far away from you either. Man, I am flying through this. 8 minutes and I've already done 2 fragrances. What? All right, next one. Have a look at this video. So this is when I was in Paris with last year in preparation or prior to the tour going live. We did a bit of a meetup with these gentlemen and also Luc, my professor, my French professor, who he's got the heart of gold because he has to put up with me. But anyway, I say the same things over and over again, but anyway, he's a champion. I appreciate his help. We went so we were running around Paris and having a look at different boutiques, and we came across the NICOLAI perfumer boutique. I sprayed this one, and this is Saint Honore. And I fell in love instantly. So I sprayed it and I'm like, Bob, I gotta buy this. I quickly turned to my financier. Luke is my witness. He saw the whole interplay. Yeah, I just turned to Sandra and I'm like, my eye is twitching. She said to me, I thought you weren't buying anything. I'm like, changed my mind. So there's 2 parts why I fell in love with it. One, I love Saint Honore, both from the pastry. So I love the actual choux pastry with the hazelnut and the caramel and all that. I love the street, Rue Saint Honore, because that's where all the cool boutiques are when it comes to perfumery. And then I love the smell. I just like the vanilla, the hazelnut. There was all these pieces in there that I just ticked all these boxes. On opening, now, just so you know, this is what did I write down? This is a purpose-built fragrance. It's designed to be fun. So unlike some of the fragrances which are more about expressing to the world, a really strong, heavy leather or a very, bold, aromatic fragrance, it's projecting a kind of message to the world. Where here, this is really just, it's a fun expression of a fragrance in capturing this beautiful Saint Honore pastry, the shoe pastry, and then, converting that into some kind of olfactory expression. And that's what this fragrance is. On opening, you get a wonderful hazelnut, very clear, very just distinct hazelnut note. It's beautifully nutty. And it has been, there's a caramelized nature to it. So the thing is that it's not brown sugar. So here's the thing, not a burnt brown sugar, it's caramelized hazelnut. And I can actually, you can see this thing, this hazelnut in this very thin, sugary crust that it has. It's really, really impressive. How they've done it, I take my hats off to the perfumer. Well, actually, it's NICOLAI. She's the perfumer, and she's just done an exceptional job. On the dry down, it then goes into more, so it starts off purpose-built and fun, and then it does dry down into a fragrance in the sense that it becomes more functional. I'm wearing it, it's my fragrance of today. I find that I get, sorry, when it dries down, it goes a little bit musky in there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, here it is, sandalwood. I'm pretty certain it does have a sandalwood base, and I do get a woodiness out of it, but a very creamy style of wood. I know that there is like a lactonic piece in the heart, which again, constructed, but it does give it a very beautiful creaminess to it. That sugary hazelnut vanilla sensation stays with the fragrance quite a bit, but I find that probably about 2-3 hours in now, I've lost all of that. Slight hazelnut feel, the vanilla is definitely apparent, but it now goes into that sort of more floral, musky sandalwood base. Well, no, sorry, not floral. Yeah, a floral musk, so a very gentle musk on the body. It's not a huge, this is a great fragrance to go out on a date with or go out for dinner. It's not one that I would take out as my day fragrance. I don't feel like it has enough presence, but as a fun, I just feel like something just to envelope me in something beautifully sweet and purpose-built, as I said, with the theme of that pastry, then this baby here is gorgeous. Big recommendation in the sense that it is more as a evening going out fragrance. When it comes to unisex, easy, man or woman, no problems at all. The vanillas don't go too far ahead and it doesn't become overtly gourmand. Boom. Am I doing a good job? I don't know. My brain's, I've got this guy here and he's like saying, you need to pick up your game, son. All right, I'm gonna try my best. Keep focusing. All right, here we go. This next one is another purpose-built fragrance. This is Trastevere. I have spoken about this fragrance before. Now, off the cuff, anything from Pantheon is a monster. I haven't come across anything that Pantheon Roma create that is a body scent. All the fragrances have exceptional presence and really are statement makers when it comes to the way that the notes are performing in the actual fragrance. If it says that it has these particular notes, bada bing, you know that you're gonna have them in the actual fragrance. In this case here, it says that it's a vanilla fragrance. And yes, it's purpose-built, and I'll tell you how exactly what were they going for. But when this thing dries down, it is a vanilla fragrance. There is you don't have to sort of second guess it. It doesn't go into a different place like this one here where it goes into a musky and sandalwood. No. Trastevere ends up as a gorgeous vanilla fragrance on skin. So the idea behind Trastevere is that it wants to celebrate the other side of the Tiber River, which is where the Trastevereans actually are. It was never part of Rome as such, technically it wasn't part of Rome, it is Trastevere. And I think in the early 1900s or something like that, it became known for the bread production for Rome and pastries and things of that nature. So here the celebration is the sweet pastries, like a sweet bakery essentially. opens up with just a gorgeous pastry-like gourmand vanilla sweetness that is just, it's instantly ensnaring. There's I mentioned previously that there's a great dessert or like a treat that goes really well with mate for Argentinians. It's called a palmera. I do believe I've seen them in Paris and I've seen them in other places. So I think this style has been used throughout the world, but for us Argentinians, palmeras are just like they're perfect for a mate. And the opening of Trastevere has that sort of element to it, this pastry-like, the sugary crustiness on the sort of the smell profile of it. There is that slight vanilla touch. Bim, boom, boom, we're gonna have it here. The other thing I love about this, and again, Pantheon, is that the evolution is just slow and very deliberate. Unlike some fragrances, they come in very, you know, bomb, here it is, all these beautiful all these notes, you know, orange blossom or whatever, and then it dries back down very quickly, you know, 10, 20 minutes and you're in another place. Whereas here, I find that you open up with this palmera-like sugary vanilla and pastry. Now, I'm in this more of a nutty, almost yeast-like quality to it. So now more the bread-like element. Think of a bakery and like a sourdough bread. That's the kind of scent profile I'm getting. With a, like I said, with a nutty sort of element to it. When it dries down, it will change from here, which is just, I don't know how it's done. It will change from here and it goes to vanilla. I filmed with Leone, who's he's the family member who owns the Pantheon Roma. This is the video here, so if you want to check it out. And he said that I always love or always remember the way that he said it. He goes, you know, he's talking about Trastevere and it's pastry-like, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, but when it dries down, it's vanilla. And that's exactly it. So he emphasized the fact that this does go to a gorgeous vanilla place. It is very, very gourmand. It is purpose-built, but the bones on this baby here is spectacular. Boom. All right, that's that. Next one. Man, I have done 4 fragrances in what, 17 minutes. This is, it's unprecedented. It's without precedent. All right. Oh, and 10 plus hours without a problem. Now, its companion that I want to put forward that I didn't talk about last time, or haven't, is this one here. This is gorgeous. Dolce Passione. When I first was, so I was testing these at the start of the year, knowing that I was going to be in Rome. We don't have them in Australia. And I knew that that was my chance. If I wanted to get, get connected to these fragrances, it was my chance in Rome. So I tested at the start of the year. I remember spraying this and instantly going, this is a winner. Dolce Passione. I mean, it was all in the name for me, but then in its actual scent profile is extraordinary. I've got it here, but I'm deeper in the dry down. So the dry down is way different too. I want to spray it again, actually. I'm going to spray it because the opening is something. Forget about it. Ooh, not the best spray in the world, but I was trying to do a little baby spray. Okay. So on that opening, it's like a toasted chocolate, nutty, not hazelnut, not almond, but like a nutty profile to it. And then it has, oh, and then the vanilla. But it's like a gorgeous dark chocolate, cacao-like. So this beautiful, rich, decadent cacao scent profile to it with a toasted element of, there's this toastiness about it. There is that nuttiness, as I mentioned, and then that vanilla that is very gentle coming through the fragrance. On first spray, it really is. It's a Dolce Passione, which is like a sweet passion, and it is exactly that. This beautiful, enticing, alluring sort of scent profile. When it does dry down, and again, it takes quite a while to get across to this place, you're getting these tinges of these floral elements to it. Now, I get a slight fruit touch, and I can't say that it's exactly this. It's a little bit on that deep, dark plum, sort of deep plum fruit style. I have read that there's a strawberry note. I don't get this strawberry sort of brightness, because normally for me I associate strawberry with a very berry-like element to it, you know, bright and fun. Whereas here, it's very much, everything is been, think of melted chocolate sort of coming down and oozing, you know, if this could be, you know, chocolate just coming off and just slow and deliberate and luxurious. That's the scent profile to this. So I love Trastevere for its purpose-built funness, but I love Dolce Passione as a fragrance. This is, so going out or a cool evening, so if you're in Northern Hemisphere, then this on an evening is just absolute gorgeous and pure magic. If you are now in cooler weather, I was wearing this the other day, it is just, I was gonna say resplendent. It's decadent on you. So it always stays with that beautiful chocolate touch, but that vanilla plays all the way through the fragrance. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going on and on, but gorgeous, massive recommendation, great fragrance, one that definitely has great presence, pushes itself beautifully out, and comfortably a man or woman. So I find that the darker chocolate style of notes in here, it is a gourmand fragrance. So if you're comfortable with gourmands as a man, then this is gorgeous. As a woman, no problems at all. Boom. You know what, I'm gonna stop. And then I'm gonna reboot last fragrance and then, well, nearly wrapping this baby up. Okay, back in a second. And back. I am flying through this. Very impressive. This is like a first. All right, last one that I would put forward on your radar is this one here, Tonka Extraordinary. It's okay, so it's not necessarily vanilla, all right? And again, today was all about vanillas, but vanillas that are done in, or delivered in a very different way. Tonka, the actual Tonka bean, is from my discovery, is a note that emphasizes the vanilla quality, but now you're getting this almond nuttiness to it, plus you're getting a woody element to it. I had a chance to smell Tonka in nature, and you do get you do get that vanilla coming through, but alongside these other elements. In particular, it does have a very sort of almond, amaretti style scent to it. So I found that this one here is perfect when it comes to accentuating all the facets of that Tonka nuance, the vanilla, the nuttiness, and that woodiness. On opening, you're getting a beautiful companionship or marriage between a toasted sesame seed style of note. So that there's a, I don't know if you have them around the world, but there is these thing called sesame snaps, and it's this like a block, it's divine, bottom line. It's a block of sesame toasted, and it's covered in sugar essentially. So it's this crunchy sort of caramelized thing. It's just, it's meant to be healthy, but I don't know about the health values in it, other than it tastes great and it's really yummy. And that's what I get out of this. So you get that sesame piece to it, but now you're also getting like a almond-like quality to it. And I love that it goes close to being amaretti style. So think of those Italian biscuits, but not quite crossing over. There's another beautiful fragrance by Casa Moratti called Italica. My brain was like, what? And that is a pure celebration of the amaretti biscuit. So very, almost, not sour, but there's a slight bitterness even in its scent profile. There's vanillas and stuff like that, it's beautiful. But that fragrance is not for everybody. So Italica is not for everybody. Whereas I think, in my opinion, that Tonka Extraordinary walks that very fine line, but stays away from any forms of sourness or any bitterness that you're finding in Italica. This is a day-to-day fragrance. This is an easy wear. I've been wearing this regardless of the weather. So I put it down that this is great as a summer, you know, a mild summer. So anything too hot, it's not going to work. But a mild summer into the evening, fantastic. As a cool weather, it doesn't matter what. So from spring all the way into autumn, fall, that period there. Fantastic, works really well. Does that work? No, so it should be from autumn, fall, all the way to spring. So that period there is fantastic. When it comes to its sillage and projection, I find that it is, and again, here's another one where it does this great balance between having a great push and presence. So you think that the fragrance has sort of washed itself backwards, and then all of a sudden, boop, it reproduces, or it re-emerges again in the air on me. Today I'm covered in fragrances, and it's the one that actually is popping the most, the one that my nose is constantly going, ooh, you're beautiful. So it does have a beautiful balance between that vanilla, that nutty, and that woodiness within the fragrance. There is a floral touch, but I don't know. And truthfully, I didn't go into breaking down too deeply as to what the floral element is, but I do get like a slight floral touch to the fragrance. But I almost feel like there's no florals in here. But it has a sweet lightness, like it's superb. So as a really gorgeous vanilla fragrance with a little bit of a twist, I'd recommend to you this baby right here. Bum, and I'm done. Whoa, yes, I am flying. All right, well that was it. So that's these are, as I mentioned, some unusual, unique, and different vanilla fragrance. Not the straight, so those who want the straight cut vanilla, watch this video here. That's the perfect vanilla fragrances. These ones here all grab that vanilla note, but do it in their own unique way. All right, if you enjoyed that, something a little bit different, I'd love you to subscribe. It's a great support to us. It's a great way to continue to assist the channel, and I thank you. From the bottom of my heart. That sounded insincere, but it's not. I do thank you. I'm appreciative of the support, and for those who are subscribing, it's a great help. Now, I mentioned to you that coming up is the Discovery Series, the JAYNE Discovery Series. This is, I love, so what is this exactly, for those who might be new? So the intention is that you and me smell fragrances across the world. I always say in real time. It's not in real time, other than when I'm filming these, I'm actually talking to the camera, and the intention is that I want to be as if I'm there in the room with you guys. The intention is also I'll smell different things, and I'll get you guys to smell alongside me to compare. So it feels like, essentially, it's meant to be like a masterclass session where we can enjoy fragrances together. The advantage is that you can now watch this at your leisure anytime you want, repeat, watch it as many times as you want. The key is that all you got to do is buy the Discovery set and then follow the 2 episodes. First episode will come out not this Sunday, but the following, on the 20th. And I'm working to make sure that both of them come out back to back. So first one will come out on the Sunday, and the second episode will come out on the Monday. 6 fragrances per session, and that'll make it easy for you guys to sort of, rather than having to wait. Normally I do a week apart. This time I'm trying to push them out together at the same time. This is atmospheric, fruity, and floral. They're gorgeous. They're really, really, really exceptional fragrances, and I'm looking forward to actually this coming week. I'm doing another one, which is Chi Intensivo, or Chi Intensivo, it's also called, and I'm going to be sharing more about that. If you'd like to get that 10% off, and the delivery is fairly reasonable, you'll just use the code NFC10 on checkout, and you'll be able to get the benefit of that. Boom. So this is a new segment that I've created, and this is a chance to bring a full conversation, rather than write comments here and there, into one place, so you guys get up to speed as to what is going through my brain. Last week, this video came out at the front of Maté Talk. This does not work. This is fun. When Hannah saw this, she laughed. She said, "Check this out." I watched it, and we sort of thought, should we leave it in, take it out? And in the end, I thought, you know what? It's fun. It was, it was like a little bit of a blooper of, sort of like a psych session before starting. Interestingly, though, a lot of subscribers, and thank you guys for your care and your consideration, reached out to me, both via comments and also privately, to say, is everything okay? Are you all right? Are you like freaking out, or like, was this like a psych up moment? You can do this, So this is my response. So I quickly followed up with a photo, which is this thing here. And the comment is, Vivo per giocare means I live to play. And that I picked this up when I was in Rome. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And I purposely put it above, as you can see in the photo, above the plaque, the YouTube plaque thing. Now, it's right there. So camera's here and it's right there. My perfume, the perfume bar is right there. So all of it is connected, and there's a purpose why I put it on top of, because the truth is I want to continue to enjoy what I'm doing here. The reality is I am having a great, and I wrote that in my comments, I'm having a great time. I'm having a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And so that wasn't so much a, you can do it, come on, man. It was more just, and I'll go into a little bit more about this. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. Sometimes you just want to take a day off. You want to, like, you know what? Can someone else do this for me? Can someone else do a Maté talk or, but it is what it is. The flip side to that is I'm having fun. I'm having a great time. I always joke that if if a genie appeared to me 5 years ago and said, yo, so, you get to have some wishes, what would you like? I would say, I'd love to, be involved with perfumes and do all these things with perfumers, or actually, and also get involved with perfumers and get the chance to visit them. And actually, come to think of it, I also would love to travel, and I would love to, and see the world. And you know what, it'd be great to connect with other perfume lovers, and we can travel together. Actually, if I could do a business and I could take people on traveling and show them the perfumers and the perfumes, and actually, the genie's going, bro. It's one wish, 3 max, That's, I already did like 15 then. But the reality is, Bob, the genie gave me the wish, and yeah, this is pretty exciting. It's what we're doing. However, it's a lot of work. So some of you may be wondering, where is Grace? I've been talking a lot about Hannah. Grace is on a sabbatical at the moment. She's been traveling around, or she's currently traveling through the US. I asked her, I said, hey, can you send me some photos to see what you're up to? So she sent me this, a book, what? Then she sent me this video, and I'm like, a train, okay. Then she reached out because there was some flooding happening in Texas and something to that matter, and I was concerned that maybe was she okay? She's fine. She sent me this because I said, hey, send me a photo of what you're up to so I can share that with everybody. And so now we get a blue top. I'm like, do we get to see Grace? So, bada bing, Grace. So she's like a camp instructor or something of that nature with at the USA camps that they do. Yeah, having a great time. Now, before she left, she actually, so her swan song was this production here, this Rome production. Now, when you watch it, you think, cool, and I think it goes for about 10 minutes. And that production took comfortably 2 weeks to bring to life, and that was to the point even like we started in a particular direction and it wasn't quite there, and so we stripped it back and we started at the start again, and then we went again, and then it's beginning to emerge, and we don't like that, so stripped it back again and moving forward. There's this production here that Hannah created. This is probably the very beginning of creating these different styles of travel videos, and that took 2 weeks. We even did the making of. We were so proud of this production. We did a making of, and we busted down on how we came to certain things. So yes, it's a lot of fun, and the genie Bob gave me the wish and just said, you can have these things. But in all of this stuff, it's a lot of energy, a lot of thinking, a lot of work, and a lot of energy that you got to bring into the whole thing of it. I love this guy here. His name is Marc. I can never say his surname right. Boom, Marc. I just call him Marc. Ribellet, something like that. And he's the coolest cat in town, but he's a wacky dude. Just watch. I mean, just go to his channel if you like music. He's just incredible, and it's all improv. He does it on the spot. Now, years ago, I came across this particular thumbnail, and it drew me because the thumbnail says it all. They don't want to do it. Watch this, and hopefully I don't get pinged for copyrights or anything like that. Marc, I'm actually promoting your thing. So anyway, but watch this.
Yo, yeah, the whole damn point of this stream is that I don't want to do the stream, but sometimes you gotta get up in front of your shit and do shit that you don't want to do. You gotta, and then you feel better.
And that's the clincher right there. That, yeah, you don't feel like doing stuff. You don't feel like it. Not today. Just like, can someone else take my spot? But in the end, in doing it, it's the energy. One thing that I have for my team, and I have this in the kitchen area, and it says, happiness does not consist in laziness. In labor and in sweat does each person use their gifts. So, in answer to your thing of before, so in answer to, you know, my little pep comment that I mentioned, it was nothing to do with that like things are heavy or like, oh, what am I doing this? Far from it. I love, love, love what we're doing. But it all takes a lot of energy and mental just focus to get it done. So boom, that's my thing. And now this. And back. All right, so lucky person's gonna win this FLANER. They've just released a new fragrance called Oud Noir. Gorgeous fragrance. It's an actually Aussie oud that they're using. It's actually, if you missed the oud conversation, check this out. Came out on Sunday. All the Zerjoffs were on display. But for this today, Oud Noir. Good luck to all the peoples in the world. Bram, my man. Bram, congratulations. You are the lucky winner of this. I know you're based in the US. I know that you love La Captiva. So this is going to be your new fragrance just for you, my brother. Thanks, everyone. I look forward to your comments. What did you think of the soapbox? It was something that I'm like, yeah, let's do a soapbox. Let's have a bit of a conversation on this. Next, at the end of the month, I'm going to do another spin members only. This is, if you're a member, you get 2 spins. Well, I'll spin twice and someone will receive like a care package, essentially. Tell me the fragrances you love and I'll send them out to you. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys all on the next episode.